So today I want to have a conversation about Jack Dorsey stepping down as Twitter's CEO on Monday, November 29th. And I might have a little bit of a different take on this because I'm Dr. Alicia Granholm, leadership coach and consultant, helping you thrive in your leadership and life. So yesterday, Jack Dorsey stepped down as Twitter CEO effective immediately. And you probably also know that in 2010, he also founded Square, the payment service that very many of us are familiar with. So from a 30,000-foot view, we know that Dorsey is inherently an entrepreneur. He loves to start things, sometimes even before their time and before the rest of us are ready. In fact, in 2000, Dorsey built the prototype for Twitter, but nobody was interested in it. And it wasn't until 2006 that he found his co-founders for it. And well, let's just say it took off and was pretty successful. For a lot of us, transitions from one job to another are a very normal part of our career path and trajectory, except for one population: entrepreneurs. So let's look at Jack's resignation letter, and I want to point out 5 things about it that really stood out to me, and then I'll share with you what I think about his transition plan and strategy for this move. So number 1, he brings up the strategy and belief of importance in founder-led companies and organizations, and then simply states that that's not a strategy that he actually buys into. And I'll say more about that strategy and belief in just a minute. And number 2, his personal backing of Parag, the new CEO, effective immediately. And he goes so far as to say, "My trust in him as our CEO is bone deep." So what is he doing in this part of the letter? Well, he's helping those who trust in him as their CEO and leader to buy into Parag as their new leader and CEO. Whether you like Jack Dorsey or not, this is a really crucial component of transitions, particularly of resignations of founder-led companies and organizations. Because since the beginning, most people have been looking toward the founders for their direction and leadership. So whether you like Jack Dorsey or not, or support his resignation or not, or think he should have resigned a while ago, this is a really great move as the CEO who is leaving to be vocal about their support of the new incoming CEO. It's great for Parag, and it's really great for everyone else who's working at Twitter. And then number 3 is sharing who's going to be leading Twitter's board moving forward, and that it's not him. This is a super gutsy and bold move by Jack. See, many founders still want to stay connected, even if they know that they're entrepreneurs and want to go get involved in something else and maybe even start something else or found something new. Often they still want their fingers really tied into anything and everything that they've started. And often this gets played out on the board. And then number 4 is that he shares the timeline of the transition. There is nothing worse than having an impending transition and actually a transitioning happening right now and not knowing the timeline of when a leader is truly going to be done in their position or moved on from the organization in its entirety. And then number 5, he ends his resignation letter by saying this: "Why not stay or become chair? I believe it's really important to give Parag the space he needs to lead. And back to my previous point, I believe it's critical a company can stand on its own, free of its founder's influence or direction." So Jack Dorsey's leaving as the CEO and co-founder of Twitter, not a very popular opinion or position by many founders, but I'll get to that in a moment. What I do want to say is this resignation letter, it's a model for what you could use as a resignation letter. It spells out why he's leaving. It says who is going to be taking over. It's effective immediately, and it gives the timeline of when these changes are going to be taking place. When it comes to transitions and resignations, there is nothing worse than a bunch of ambiguity around it. Whether or not you agree with his resignation and his leaving and total transition from Twitter, I can say that this letter is pretty much perfect. So if you're going to be transitioning out of a leadership position anytime soon, come back to this resignation letter as a model for what you could write as you share what's next for you and what's next for your team or organization. Now, I shared that this resignation as a co-founder of a very successful company is actually kind of an unpopular position. But here's what it tells me about Jack Dorsey. It tells me that he knows himself so well to know that he knows he would rather be starting up something new than maintaining and growing an already successful organization. Because from a leadership vantage point, if you have a successful organization or company or church or nonprofit, if you started it and you want it to keep succeeding, then you have to change how you lead or step out of the way and empower somebody else to lead. If you've ever worked with an entrepreneur or the founder of a startup and they never learn how to empower the people around them, then you know exactly what I mean. Because they become bottlenecks for every decision. There's a glass ceiling for everyone else in the organization, and the organization cannot sustain itself without them at the helm. So if founders have the best interests of their organization as well as the people that work with them at heart, then they have two options when their organization is growing and succeeding. They either learn how to lead differently, or they empower somebody else to step in and take their organization to the next level. And let me say that most entrepreneurs are not good at this naturally, but it's a skill that can be learned if they want to learn how to become a different kind of leader. It's okay to stay and lead a founder-led organization. It's not okay to stay and not become a different and better kind of leader moving forward. So whether you like Jack Dorsey or not, here's what I can say. I applaud this decision by him because he clearly is an entrepreneur and someone who loves to start new things. I've seen plenty of organizations started by the founder, and the founder leans into becoming a different and better leader moving forward to serve their organization well, long into the future. But that was an intentional decision on their part because they wanted to stay. So I can really appreciate Jack Dorsey moving on because he knows that really at the end of the day, he loves starting new things and investing in new opportunities for people. So make sure to comment below. Let's have a dialogue about this transition. Let me know what you think about his transition and the way that he went about it. Like this video, share it, make sure to subscribe, and I'll see you next time.